of folks on the call here know each other and are very well known to ILAG and to Pastor Karen and Diego. So we are glad to be together. Welcome for this just wonderful event. We were reflecting on last year and 2020 just being so strange and odd in so many different ways. But then we were seeing all just the wonderful, good and faithful things that that were happening in 2020. We said, we've got to celebrate. We've got to pause for a minute and just celebrate all the good things that God has been doing and that we have gotten to be a part of. So thanks for being here to help to celebrate, to give thanks to God for the good year of 2020. We are glad to have some folks here just to make a couple of brief introductions. Pastor Jill Henning, assistant to the bishop for leadership and administration here in the Southeastern Synod. Jill, we are glad you are here. Yay. We also welcome from the frozen north, the St. Paul Area Synod, Janet Metcalf. Janet, we're glad you are here. Thank you for all of your partnership and accompaniment and the ways that you all in St. Paul Area Synod have accompanied ILAG, but also how you have accompanied us in the Southeastern Synod. So thank you for being here and walking with us and celebrating together. It's a joy. It's a joy. Let's see, we also want to make sure that we welcome Pastor Karen Castillo, the pastor president of the Iglesia Luterana Augustana de Guatemala. Welcome. We are glad that you are here and thank you for joining us even while you have been on the road. I was figuring that you were going to be back home after your trip, and we are glad that you are here and multitasking, and thank you for taking time out of that journey to spend some time with us. We appreciate not only your ministry in Guatemala, but also the way that you accompany all of us in the Southeastern Synod and throughout the ELCA. We really appreciate it. Thank you. And Diego Gil. Diego needs no introduction, but here's an introduction for him. Diego, he is the delegation coordinator. So Diego, we are glad that you are with us and that you have spent so much time walking with us and helping get Americans acclimated to ministry in Guatemala and holding our hand and just telling us everything's going to be okay. We're here to do ministry together. We're here to build relationships. Thanks for walking with us, man. We really, really appreciate you. Well, it is good to be together, everybody. And my name is Stephen Friedrich. I'm a pastor here in the Southeastern Synod at Lutheran Church of the Resurrection in Marietta. And I'm a part of the leadership team for our Synod's Southeastern Synod Guatemala team. So that's why I'm talking at the moment. But it's good to be together, everybody. Let's see here. I am now to pass it off to Pastor Jill Henning. So Pastor Jill, you are up next.
Great. Thank you, Pastor Stephen. And thank you to all of you for being a part of this great day of Thanksgiving and celebration. For our partnership with ILAG and with Pastor Karen and Diego. It is just an amazing time to do ministry in the midst of a pandemic. The bishop liked to say at the beginning of this pandemic that none of us went to seminary and were trained in how to minister in the middle of a pandemic. But this is where God has called us to be. And so whether we actually ever had a class in pandemic ministry, God has already equipped us to do this work. And so I'm so grateful for the ministry of the Southeastern Synod's Guatemala team and for our partnership with Pastor Karen and Diego and with ILAG and especially the work we do with MILAGRO. And so it's just been a joy to be a part of this process. I will say it is a partnership that we have together, and Pastor Karen will talk a little bit about what's been going on in ILAG and in their ministry in Guatemala. But I want to talk a little bit about our partnership with them, and just to say thank you to all of you for the ways in which you have partnered with us to support their ministries at ILAG and to continue our work together, even though we weren't able to go. Literally, almost just over a year and a month ago. Actually, I think I was supposed to leave to be coming to Guatemala like last week or the week before, and the pandemic hit, and we were not able to make that trip down to be with our brothers and sisters in Christ in Guatemala, and we all got stuck right where we were. But it didn't mean we got stuck from doing ministry. And so I have a poll for us. So I want you to just help me to answer this question. How much money did the Southeastern Synod raise for ILAG during the pandemic year of 2020? So I'm going to give you all about 20 seconds to answer this call or this poll, and we'll see. So one person out of 16 have answered. Oh, there we go. We're getting a few. Okay, here we go. We'll see. This is exciting. I get to watch it in live time. So 10 out of 16 have voted. Is it $25,500? Is it $78,000? Is it $129,000? Is it $63,000? Okay, we're going to just give it a couple more seconds and then I'll close the poll. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, the end. Okay, so you'll see that 9 people voted that $129,000 is the top answer, and that is how much money the Southeastern Synod raised during this year of pandemic, which is amazing. When we began this pandemic, one of the things that Pastor Karen talked about with us was the ways they were going to do responses for that pandemic in Guatemala, and literally our Guatemala team was like, how can we help? And we did a high five for Guatemala, and it was a social media response where we asked people to challenge 5 other people to support the response that ILAG was doing in Guatemala to support the people in villages when they could no longer travel and be able to go from one village to the next. And that was an amazing response that we asked people to give, I think it was $104 towards that. And I think we raised almost $25,000 for that response. And it just kept going. So from the high five for Guatemala to our digital gala that, thanks to the St. Paul Area Synod, we learned how to do. We were still able to come together and find ways that we could do ministry together. We invited people who would have traveled to Guatemala rather than sending that money. Instead of spending that money on an airline ticket to Guatemala or that trip, to maybe donate that money towards the ministry in ILAG as they were going through stuff. And we in this synod know what it's like to live in response to disasters. We are a synod that has had multiple hurricanes in the last year, multiple tornadoes in the last year, floods and ice storms. And I know our siblings in Guatemala have experienced that as well. And so, not only, well, they had a volcano. They just had to one-up us and add a volcano into it. But we don't have a volcano to explode here, but we have enough other things to go on. But to be in prayer for them and us in prayer, them in prayer for us. I am always so grateful to open up my email and to receive a prayer from Pastor Karen saying that the people at ILAG are praying for us. And I'm grateful to know that across our synod, we have been praying for the people of ILAG. And so just really grateful for all the ways in which you have done ministry, whether it's been on Zoom to teach the girls at MILAGRO to sew. Ginger, I think you did that, to just our partnership together to Lori's congregation making traditional ILAG foods and drinks so that we could, thanks to St. Paul's giving us the recipes to experience what life was like if we were able to have had a gala. We've missed coming together, but we did not let the pandemic stop the ways in which we do ministry together. So thank you to each of you, and thank you for telling the story of how we can partner with our siblings in Guatemala and the ministry that we do together. And I feel like not only we're not a companion synod with St. Paul in terms of our relationship in the ELCA, we're companion synods with the La Crosse Synod. That's okay, because we certainly have grown our relationships together to do ministry with our partnership with ILAG, with our St. Paul's siblings. And so that's just been a blessing as well, that we might have come together in Guatemala on a trip and met each other, but because of this pandemic, we've been able to resource each other and support the ministry and increase the mission that we can do together to support the incredible work that ILAG does. So thank you to each of you for the ways in which you have prayed for, raised money for, remembered, and are committed. I will tell you, Pastor Karen, we are coming as soon as physically and safely we can come. People, every time our team meets, that's the one question they ask me is, Pastor Jill, when can we go back to see our friends in Guatemala? And I promise you, as soon as it's safe for us to come and we aren't endangering you and it's safe for us to be there, we will be there. But what we've learned throughout this is that the Holy Spirit connects us across the miles. Whether we can physically be together, the Holy Spirit inspires the work that we do together. And so we are just so grateful to be in a partnership with you. And one of the things I do on staff, or have done, now Pastor Morgan Gordy is beginning to do it, in disaster is work with disaster response. And I'm learning from the ways in which ILAG has done disaster response in their community, some things that we can do. So excited to hear about the solar lamps and the other ways in which they've done things, because those are some of the things we're hoping to bring to our team to help support our congregations when they go through a tornado and lose electricity, or like the ice storms we had in Tennessee. That we might be able to resource them to have these solar lamps that can provide not only light, but electricity to be able to charge tablets and cell phones and things like that. So it is a partnership. It's what we learn from them, and it's what they learn from us. And we're very grateful to be a part of that. So Pastor Karen, thank you for allowing us this partnership. And I bring you greetings from Bishop Strickland. He just got back from vacation today, and so he couldn't join us, but we are grateful to have you with us today. And he sends his love and his support. And if he was here, he could talk to you in Spanish. I did not take the pandemic time to learn Spanish. I'm sorry. I should have done something during this pandemic so I could communicate better with you all, but we're just excited to be a part of this. And should we do one more poll? Let's see what our next question is. All right, let's see if I can remember how to do that. Okay, we're going to stop doing that one. Now I'm going to go to the next one. This is where I get in trouble, because Pastor Michael told me how to do this. Let's talk about those solar lanterns. So how many solar lanterns were delivered by ILAG in 2020? These were used after the hurricanes and a part of their response to their communities. So was it 0? It wasn't 0. I'm just telling you that. Okay, so you're getting that answer already. 10, 50, or 500? So answer away. We'll see. We got 13 out of 17 answered. We'll give it another 10 or 12 seconds. All right, 15 out of 17, 16 out of 17. Okay, I might be the 17th person. I'm not allowed to answer because it doesn't let me do that. So, all right, we're going to end the poll. The largest answer was 500. Diego, do you want to tell us how many solar lanterns you took in those big trucks across the country?
Hi. Good afternoon. Great to see everyone here. We deliver more than 300, almost 500. So it was a lot of solar lamps in the road, and everyone was really happy. So thank you very much, because with your support we were able to do that. So and it was incredible. It was a
That's
solar
amazing.
lamp. Yeah, also it was a solar lamp, but also it's a charger for the phones. So also that is really helpful for them with all the natural disaster that is happening in all over the world and also Guatemala. So thank you very much.
That's amazing. Thank you, Diego, for being, I call on you like off the top of your head. So thanks for jumping on real quick. Well, I'm going to pass it back to Pastor Stephen, and he'll continue on the next thing.
All right. Thank you, Jill. Thank you for taking that moment just to say to our entire Senate, thank you everybody for your generosity. And it's incredible what we can do, what we were able to do together last year. I want to take a moment just to say a word of thanks to ILAG for their faithful ministry in this past year. Pastor Karen, let me bring you up here as well. Oh, Diego, you can jump on too, because this is not just the Pastor Karen show. Oh goodness, we'll put you both on there. How about that? But we want to just say thank you to you guys for your faithfulness in ILAG, for your faithfulness throughout this past year. I want to start with just a word of thanks to the congregations of ILAG. So please tell them this word of thanks. Just thank you for the ways that they have cared for their neighbors' health, how they have worshiped, but worshiped in homes or worshiped in congregations, and how they've looked out for their neighbors' needs throughout hurricanes and pandemics. And just a word of thanks to them, please. Also, a word of thanks to Milagro for their incredible faithfulness. The students just continuing to study and have learned and have shared their faith with us. We are so thankful. And also to their families who entrusted them to you guys and to the Milagro program throughout this pandemic. So please pass along a word of thanks from us to them for their faithfulness. And to all those students at the elementary school and their families who continue to study at home, and the teachers who taught virtually and put together packets for their students to continue learning. Just a word of thanks to all of them for their faithfulness. And to you guys, to the pastoral team for ILAG, please tell them thank you for their ministry. You all have been an example of faith and prayer, and we are thankful. You are folks who have told the story of what God's church has been doing in Guatemala, of their faithfulness and of their needs in the midst of COVID and hurricanes. So thank you to the pastoral team, Pastor Karen, Diego, and to the entire team. Thank you to all of you for faithfully accompanying ILAG congregations, but also thank you for accompanying us in the Southeastern Synod. Thank you for the letters and videos and the updates and the Zoom calls. Thank you for your constant prayer for us. Your engagement, it's been an encouragement and a support to us during this time. So that's part of what we wanted to do on this call, was just to take a moment and to say thank you. So let's turn this, let's make this a big gallery view here. And if everyone, can you just give them, ILAG, a round of applause. Thank you for your faithfulness, Pastor Karen and Diego and all of ILAG. We love you. You guys are wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now, without further ado, Pastor Karen and Diego for the next section of the agenda today. Where did Pastor Karen go? Oh, there you are.
She's right here. I see her right.
Yeah, I am waiting because Diego is going to talk first.
Yes.
There we go.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. I cannot describe like very well how I feel watching everyone in this Zoom meeting, looking watching the faces of friends, really good friends from us and from ILAG, who supported us in 2020, that it was a challenge, not just for us. We really know that it was not just a challenge for us, it was a challenge for everyone in the States and all over the world. We didn't know what was going to happen, and you were there for us constantly, and we were not face to face or not in person, but we feel the accompaniment always, every week, every month of 2020. We really know that you were there, and thank you for that. For that reason, we are we were invited here today, and thank you very much for the arrangements to make this possible. Thank you very much, Pastor Steven. Thank you very much, Pastor Jill and Nancy and everyone who were always with us with emails and Zoom meetings and planifications. Thank you. And really good ideas. Thank you.
Good afternoon again from the warm Petén. We are traveling and visiting communities in Petén. It is really warm here. And also not just the weather, but the warmth and the love of the people who live in all of these villages, and they are very happy to see us. We have brought greetings from all of you to all of the communities, and they have been very happy to see us. They are always happy to hear from you when we bring news to them. And they are very grateful for all of the work you have done, and they haven't felt alone. We haven't felt alone. We have felt accompanied all of this past year. It was very challenging, as Diego was saying, and for everyone in the world, but we are very grateful for your support, all of the offerings, but the prayers as well that you have lifted for all of ILAG, your commitment, your emails, your calls, your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, all of the ways you have communicated with all of us and be present, and people in the villages and us at the pastoral team and the teachers haven't felt alone at all. So we are very grateful. I have a video to share with all of you. We couldn't put subtitles, but Diego can tell you more or less what Marcos from Aurora said in the video when we deliver the supplies in December after the hurricane. Please let me know if you can hear.
No se escucha.
¿No se escucha?
Tal vez si le subís volumen, ¿no?
Ya le subí. ¿Qué será?
Y si lo...
Can you hear the video? Can you hear him talking? No.
Y si pones el audio en el teléfono, tal vez, para que se escuche.
Well,
I'm glad this doesn't just happen to me on Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
This is a universal challenge.
I know, but I am trying to look for the video here.
Sure. Yeah. Take your time. We would love to hear from him.
We decided that 2020 and 2021 were the year of you are muted. That we all end up in a Zoom meeting where somebody's muted and they're trying to talk, and so we've decided might be our evangelism message, that we need to become unmuted and tell the story of God's grace in the world. So this fits with what we've been experiencing as well over the last year. Sometimes technology doesn't want to work for us.
Well, I have in my phone the video, so I am going to share the video here, and I will play it in my phone so we can hear what he's saying, hopefully.
Gracias, pastora, que estás presente con nosotros aquí en la Iglesia Luterana del Virgen del Rosario, que abrió el 12 de octubre. Y por gracia también de los apoyos, los hermanos que están mandando para nosotros. No es por gusto, estamos aquí ahorita, estamos en una situación muy fuerte por las situaciones que pasó por el huracán, pues que pasando muchos la enfermedad por la situación, nuestra siembra está perdiendo mucho, la milpa ahorita hemos sembrado, pues que van a ser, su flor es el milpa muy pequeño, va a serlo, no va a crecer y no va a crecer. Y ese es el importante, pues, cómo vamos a avanzar nuestra vida con toda la familia. Estamos preocupados ahorita aquí en este lugar. Gracias. El central están controlando por un bien para nosotros y por gracia de Dios y toda la iglesia, parte luterana, por parte también de hermanamientos que están en Estados Unidos. Es eso nomás. Gracias, nuestros apoyos. Y tal vez no nos vamos a pagar, pero Dios nos paga lo que está brillando. Es gran ayuda, es muy grande para nosotros, para mi familia. Y para nuestra familia nos vamos a compartir en nuestra casa. Gracias. Gracias.
Could you hear him? Yes. Thank you. Well, he was saying thank you for all of your support. You could see some of the supplies we delivered behind him. So he was very grateful. He was explaining how the crops were lost, how they were not going to be able to have corn to eat after the hurricane happened. And he was expressing all of the gratitude from the churches and the effort that you did to send them food and supplies to overcome this challenging time. And now we are going to share a PowerPoint presentation we have. Please let me know. I cannot see you now, but please let me know if you can see the PowerPoint presentation.
Sí se ve.
Sí. ¿Y me pueden oír?
Sí, sí se puede ver.
Okay, so this is the Iglesia Luterana Agustina de Guatemala presenting to the Southeastern Synod from the ELCA. Thank you for the support during 2020 with COVID-19 and hurricane relief. 400 families were supported for COVID, and 500 for hurricane relief. As we were talking before, we delivered twice last year. We delivered in June, in the month of June, supplies, and also in December. These pictures are from December. The pictures from June were already sent. So this is the solar lamp. As you can see, some of the people are receiving the solar lamp that has a charger for cell phones, because when the hurricane happened, they didn't have electricity and they couldn't charge their phone, and was very difficult to maintain the communication. So we found these solar lamps and we were able to deliver that. It is a lot of spaghetti, corn that we gave to the families. And this is another church where they are receiving the materials and the supplies. And really they were so grateful, because after all of their crops were lost, and their food and their income is from their crops, from their land. And if they lose the only thing they have to make a living, they get very discouraged, because they won't have food, they won't have money, because they sell corn, they keep corn to be able to feed their families. And when we got there with the trucks with a lot of corn, beans, pasta, and hygiene supplies, they were very grateful. Also in COVID-19 response, they were very grateful, because they didn't have to go out to the main towns to get supplies to eat. And they could protect themselves from getting the virus into the villages. And they were very grateful for that as well. We were very concerned last year when the COVID-19 started spreading in Guatemala, because as you know, in the villages, they have no clinics close by the villages. If they get ill, if they get sick, it is very difficult for them to get medicine. So we were very concerned, and thank you for the support. They were able to have food for 3 months, so they didn't have to go out into towns, and they could continue working on their fields. Sadly, in December, we were hit by 2 hurricanes where they lost most of their crops, and we could respond very fast and very easily because all of your support. And we were able to take corn, beans, pasta, hygiene supplies, and the solar lamp to all of the families. And it was very wonderful to see how they share with others in the communities. They didn't ask just for themselves in the church. They were very concerned because more people in the villages were in need as well. So they asked us if we could take more food for more people. So all of them were going to be okay, and we're going to be able to overcome that sad thing that happened to them when all of the rivers were flooding the communities and the entire field. And when we were traveling in December to deliver the supplies, we were delivering supplies as well for children, because children are a priority at ILAG. We had a week of activities in each community as they have been affected because of COVID. The entire year the school was closed, and they don't have the technology to maintain online classes. So it was very challenging for the children not to have a school open and to have the COVID and being just in the village and being afraid or scared. And after that, the hurricane hit them as well. And their parents were so worried about all of the things where they were facing. So they have a lot to overcome. And it was very beautiful to be able to work with the children, to tell them that to give hope, and tell them that we were going to overcome this together, and you, because we have your support. And the children, as you can see, were very happy to have all of the activities. And now, after all of the support we received from you for the COVID-19 and also the hurricane relief, that we are so grateful, all of the money you sent got to the villages, and the people got food, and they got a lot of supplies, so they were going to be able to feed their families. And now we can see the next presentation. We have ILAG programs that we would like Southeastern Synod to support in prayer and financially. You can see the MILAGRO Educational Center that you are already supporting, leadership development, and sustainable agricultural program. We have the MILAGRO Education Center. Now this year we have 13 young women enrolled for 2021. They are developing technical skills such as bakery, sewing, administration, and sustainable agriculture. They are receiving technical education, formal education, Christian education, and gender justice. You can see here some pictures where they are baking. Luvia is learning in a technical school that is called INTECAP. So she's going every week to that school once a week. Last year she was online, and this year she started going to the technical school. And then when she comes back to the MILAGRO Center, she teaches the other girls how to make, how to bake bread. And sewing. They started sewing, and Ginger was here in Guatemala 2 years ago, and she spent a lot of time with them here. She started them going in this sewing project, and they got very excited because she really enjoyed that. So Karen and Violeta went to this technical school as well. They learned the skills how to sew. They continue their education, and now they are teaching each other how to sew and continue learning and developing this skill. And administration. We have had many delegations coming and teaching them about administration, and they continue learning in that process how to handle money, how to make the best out of what the materials they have. And we have here some activities have happened this year. They have Christian education. In Holy Week, we were having the Last Supper at the Lutheran Center. They made some drawings, and they are doing agriculture. They are planting food at the Lutheran Center, and also they continue with their formal education. In the leadership development program, we have started a program with new technology, because all of this pandemic has taught us that we need to find other ways to continue connected and to continue our leadership trainings. we have seen how the leadership training have helped the communities, because now that we weren't there present in 2020, we didn't visit the communities after March 17. So they were able to do pastoral care in the village. They were able to communicate, to maintain an open communication with us, to receive news from the government, and they had the skills to continue being a church in the communities in the time of pandemic. So we know the leadership development program is very important to continue, because they have expressed that. They have said that they need to continue studying and learning about Bible studies, how to do pastoral care, especially in this time of pandemic, because people get just in the village. It for them was very difficult to be in the village all the time, because they couldn't go out. They were remembering the time for civil war in Guatemala. They were relating COVID-19 experience with civil war. So it is still very fresh on their minds, how they feel, the feelings, the psychological effect in their lives, and how the church was there for them and was a big uh, support for them. So they want to continue studying. We deliver a tablet in each community, and they are learning how to use it. And so we can have a face-to-face online conversations and Bible study with them. We had the first try the first week of April. So we put some internet on in the tablets, and we were calling villages, and some of them we could do with Zoom app, and some of them with WhatsApp video call. And it was a blessing to see them. They were very happy. They learning new technology, being able to continue because having the tablet means that they are going to get news in the tablet. Since they got the tablet, they have been sending us pictures of their activities, videos from their activities, and also greetings in video. And they are very excited about this new technology and having this opportunity to learn. And also in the leadership development, we continue building churches. And then they have a place that is neutral where they can worship together, and they can gather and continue having the trainings and Bible studies and children activities and Sunday school for the children. And now I'm going to let Diego continue talking about the Sustainable Agricultural Program.
Thank you. Well, the 2020 was a challenge, but also give us time to plan, to talk with the leaders and see their needs. They express how challenging had been being locked, they were not able to go out to buy their food. They were not able to have a commerce, to have a comercio, ¿verdad?
Business.
Business, because everything was closed. So we were thinking in a way to have prevention. So one of the blessings the families have in the rural area is to have land, to have places to plant, and to recover the soil. Because now with this new pandemic, the new climate change that is getting worse, and with the palm plantation that is for the next 3 years, a sustainable agricultural program. The first year is going to be communal for the families who are starting to plant in the church space, in the garden, so they can produce and they can experiment new ways to recover the land, to plant different things, because their living is farming, and we cannot ask to experiment in their places where they work, right? So we think in this new program to make it communal, not just for the families on the church, it's for families in the community. It's open for everyone who want to participate. So in the second year, we hope with the results, each family can have a garden, can have a place where they can plant and harvest new different vegetables, different herbs, different fruits. So they are not going to go out and go to the markets where it's very crowded to buy things. Also, the transport is very expensive right now in Guatemala. It's almost the double of the price that normal charges. So for that reason, we are thinking in this. And the third year is to make the master, the practice make the master, right? So the third year, we hope that everyone can have a parcela, a place that is big to plant different things and to make commerce. So I had experienced this last visit in Petén. We were talking with a council, and we were explaining about this program. And the ladies were telling me, we were having a a place where we were planting eggplant, and I was like, well, eggplant is awesome. It's a really good vegetable. And they were telling me, we stopped doing that. And I asked why. They told me, because we didn't know how to prepare the eggplant. We didn't know how to use it. And then you can reflect and say, people is missing the chance to make a better living because they don't have the information. They don't have the tools to develop themselves. So we are going to accompany them in this journey, and we are going to facilitate a program who is going to give more knowledge. They are farmers for forever, but we are going to facilitate new tools, new information, and we hope that with that in 3 years, they are going to have a better living.
Mhm. And in another updates that we have is the COVID vaccine. We don't have news in Guatemala yet. They have, the doctors and nurses have received the vaccine, and they started collecting information for elder people. And it seems that the president was having he was talking on the TV a few nights ago, and he was saying that the government already paid the vaccines from Russia, but they haven't gotten to Guatemala yet, and they don't know when they will arrive. So we are still waiting for that, and we don't know. We have no idea when the vaccines are going to be here for all of the population. And we are we have people in the Ministry of Health looking for that. And so we will have news, and we will try to make it possible for the communities. It is a lot of misinformation as well, because people in the communities are afraid of getting the vaccine because of information is not clear. So we have this connection with a doctor in Guatemala who is going to start calling them by phone or in the tablet for video calls, where it is possible to explain them and give them clear information about that, so they are going to be healthy. As most of you know, and another news, we had a break-in the elementary school, and it was sad and strange to get at the elementary school, and see that they have robbed that we have in the elementary school. We made it now. We went to the police station to try to put a complaint or present a complaint about that, and it took a whole day to be able to do that. So it was very frustrated as well. Um, in the emergency response, as we were talking about the hurricane, people have planted seeds now, and they are working in recovering, especially with the Sustainable Agricultural Program. Thank you very much. And I don't know if now you have questions, or we will give the time to you.
Wonderful. Pastor Karen, thank you so much for And Diego, thank you so much for the presentation and for all the wonderful ministry that you guys have been doing and ELAG has been doing. Thank you very, very much. We do have a couple of questions, and if I forgot to mention this earlier, everybody, I'm sorry. But if you have other questions that you would like to ask Pastor Karen and Diego, we're running a bit tight on time, but type your question into the chat box, and we will do our best to either answer it live here or get you a response afterwards. So if you have a particular question, please type it into the chat box, and we will make sure we capture that. But in the meantime, Pastor Karen and Diego, I know you mentioned that that there's no real update on ELAG on the vaccine situation for COVID, but do you anticipate that that will be something that the government will handle, or does ELAG have a role to play in the distribution of that vaccine to villages?
Well, with experience in Guatemala, with the government, there is so much corruption. We are not sure if all of the villages are going to get the vaccine for free, or we had to look for that. We will see. We are asking. We are continue looking into the right ministries, especially the Ministry of Health, trying to get information. So we want to be sure that it will be available for the people in the rural area, because it is important they get that. It is important they are going to be healthy, and we were just waiting for news. And if that doesn't happen with the government, ILAG for sure will step in and will do something, and will find a way to get the vaccines into the villages.
Wonderful. Well, we are always eager to support ELAG and the good work that you are doing. So we trust you'll keep us posted on that as well. Thank you. Another question, we had one about the MILAGRO and about the young women. Can you tell us about a little bit more about, I know you said they've continued their studies and are learning administration and sewing and going to classes, but any other updates to share about MILAGRO?
Yes, I forgot to post a picture of the new computer lab that they have at the library at the Lutheran Center. We had to get a lot of laptops because they are studying online. They are not receiving classes in the school. So they need to get into platforms, and they need to study with apps. And it has been very interesting how they have developed their skills in computer. And it is a plus learning in this pandemic time. And we have a special place now where they are continue their education, and they have the materials. And thank you all, they can have all of the materials, the bakery materials, the sewing materials, the laptops, the food. They have a new kitchen as well for a stove for tortillas. And because we couldn't find any more wood, so they could continue doing tortillas with the wood kitchen, the stove. But then we got a new one that is, you can use that with gas. And so they are able to make their tortillas with a stove of gas now. Thank you all. And we have hundreds and hundreds of pictures. It is very difficult to decide which ones to use because we have so many activities. We know the pandemic time has been, but thank God we have found different ways to continue worshiping, serving in the churches. And with the Milagro girls, they are very happy. Because last year, some of them went back to their village. And this year they were asking, when can I go back? When can I go back? In January, second week of January, all of them were back. And they are very happy to have this opportunity.
Yes, indeed. Well, wonderful. I'm glad everyone is back, and that's a real gift for this year. I guess one final question. Let's see. I guess we are all curious. How can we pray for you guys, Pastor Karen and Diego? How can we pray for you this week?
Please continue praying for good health in the communities. As the third wave of COVID is getting into Guatemala, the government is making. We were concerned in this trip in Petén because we weren't sure if we were going to be able to go back home, because on Saturday night the president was giving new instructions, but thank God he didn't close the the country as he did last year, but he's requiring everyone to wear masks. And it is very difficult. I can tell you that it's very difficult to wear this in this weather. I understand the communities. They don't want to wear these masks. When we are there worshiping and when we are there in meetings with this on, we just sweat and they sweat. And so but it is a requirement to be healthy, to take care of ourselves and to take care of others. And please pray so people can understand, and also the fear of getting the vaccine, that they have gotten misunderstanding news, that it fades, that they can have the wisdom to understand that the vaccine is needed. And please pray for that as well. Pray for the leaders, because they have continued worshiping and they have continued taking care of the villages on their own. And it is it is a big responsibility for them. Please pray for wisdom for the leaders. Pray for them to continue teaching and doing Bible studies and being good stewards of God's gospel. And pray for the Milagro girls as they are learning and strengthening their personality, strengthening their skills and discovering themselves. And it is a lot to pray. Pray for the pastoral team, please, as we are also working and finding new ways to continue this ministry. This year, we are started visiting the communities again, because people were calling us and asking us to come. So we started and we decided we were going to visit 3 communities per month. So we can keep the community safe from the virus, and we also take care of ourselves, so anyone gets sick. So please pray for health, and please know that we always keep you all in our prayers.
Well, thank you, Pastor Karen. We will keep you in our prayers for this coming week and into the future as well. But thank you for the specific prayer requests. We will remember those and pray for all of you. And we will make sure we do that before we close today. Now, I know we are tight on time. Let's see here. Where am I supposed to be on our agenda? Let's see here. Pastor Jill Henning, do you have a final Thanksgiving and celebration?
Well, I do, and I'm going to switch back to the gallery view, because this is our opportunity to just give thanks to God for this incredible ministry. So if you know how to do jazz hands, or you can do a virtual background, but an opportunity for us to just give thanks to God for the amazing work that Pastor Karen and Diego and the whole ILAG team are doing in Guatemala to care and to continue to share God's love, and the opportunity that we get to have them minister with us and us with them. So thank you, everyone. You guys are great. Jazz hands, excitement, whatever you want to do. We could all unmute and scream. It would be great. You probably could hear us in Guatemala. We're all screaming as loud as we can from here. So thank you again for your time today, Pastor Karen and Diego, for the amazing work that you are doing there in Guatemala. Know that we pray for you. We pray that vaccine comes quickly. For those of us that have been able to get that vaccine here in the United States, personally for me, it was like a weight lifted off my shoulder. And I know for you and for your people, and if we can assist in that in any way, in any capacity, don't hesitate to reach out to us to help us find ways to make that happen for you. Because until we can all be vaccinated, we can't get, the health of the well-being of everyone is in jeopardy. So I pray that you guys get that vaccine soon and they figure out how to do that. But thanks to everyone for being on this call. Pastor Stephen has a gift for us from the Milagro girls. They recorded this for us for Easter. And so he's going to play a video for the end here. So Pastor Stephen.
All right, so this is a Easter video from our partners at Milagro.
2, 3.
Hoy
please thank them for that incredible gift that came right before Easter. It was as if we met the women on the road, telling us the story of an empty tomb. And so thank the girls for that gift to us to this day. And Pastor Stephen, you have the final word.
Oh, good. All right. Wonderful. Well, then everybody settle in. No, we are excited for the gala coming up. We are going to have the Southeastern Synod Gala on September the 11th. It's going to be a hybrid event. So we're going to have some in-person and some virtual. So we'd love for folks to join in from all over the place. Watch our website for more information about that. And the St. Paul Area Synod has their gala coming up on May the 2nd at 7 o'clock. It's going to be on Facebook. We will make sure we include their link in our email that goes out with the recording of this, because it's not just about us in the Southeastern Synod. It's we are partners together in ministry. So look for those. Look for the email that comes out with more info about the galas coming up and how we can continue to support, both with prayer, but with financial support, the incredible work that God is doing in Guatemala through ILAG. So thank you everybody for being here. Pastor Karen, Diego, thank you so much for being here. And Pastor Karen, would you say a prayer to send us in peace, please?
Let's pray. Amado Dios, gracias por esta bendición de estar juntos y juntas. Te damos gracias por el amor que nos tienen nuestros hermanos, por el pueblo de Guatemala y el amor que compartimos en tu Espíritu Santo. En el nombre de Jesús. Amén.
Amen.
All right, everybody, go in peace, serve the Lord.
Thanks be to
Thanks,
God.
everybody.
Thank you all.
Bye, everybody. Take care.
Thanks for inviting me.
Take care.
Glad to have you.
Say hi to Bishop, please.
I will.